Should be better now. Yeah, hello and welcome to the first race weekend of the TCC here on IVRC while I turn off my phone. We're here in the beautiful Daytona Beach on the Daytona Street Circuit. Yeah, qualifying is already done. We're on the warm-up now, and we will go into the race immediately, or like in a short time. Yeah. The race will be two 20-minute races. First race in the will be after the starting grid will be after the after the qualifying result, obviously, and the second race will be a complete reverse grid, except for those that did not finish the race. Those will start at the back of the grid to not have an advantage from not finishing the race. Last year's champion in this TCC championship was Mark Stwerker. He's driving in the Repsol Vinegel racing team in a Cupra Leon TCR. That's this car right here. Then we have guys like Dovydas Laurinavicius, Peter Jones, Saulius Laurinavicius, Callum Gunn, Laszlo Teglas, Thomas Raschke, Noel Fulgenci, Francisco Vasquez, Charlotte Manning, Sven Arne Andersen, Walter Priet, Christian Alvarez, Kenneth Ragland, Redvan Limati, Tobias Kress, Manuel Centino, and that's me. Yeah. We are apparently now going into the race. The starting grid will be Mark Stwerker in front of Peter Jones. On third we have Dovydas Laurinavicius. Fourth position Callum Gunn. Fifth position Charlotte Manning. Sixth Saulius Laurinavicius. On 7 we have Christian Alvarez. On 8th position Laszlo Teglas. 9th position Sven Arne Andersen. On 10 Thomas Raschke. On 11 Kenneth Ragland. On 12 Francisco Vasquez. On 13 Redvan Marti. On 14 Manuel Centino. 15th Walter Priet. And 16th Tobias Kress. And the back of the grid is Noel Fulgenci for Tevis Sim Racing. Like I said, 20 minutes time and the race will start soon. It will start now. The lights are out and away we go. Mark Stwerker with a very good start can keep his first position comfortably in the first corner. In the background, oh, there's a crash. There's someone. That's Charlotte Manning. She was like, she had to do a complete U-turn. That's Thomas Raschke who spun around in his Atmor. What exactly happened there? Let's take a look at the start real quickly. You can see him here, middle of the pack, and suddenly in the background he started to collides with one of the Warsteiner cars and just lose. No, he drives into an O, and yeah, those things can happen in racing, especially on like first laps. Stwerker now leads in front of Pete Jones in an immediate fight for the race win. Already. Stwerker, Jones, Laurinavicius, Alvarez, Laurinavicius, Raglas, Priet, Marti. Now the attack from Peter Jones against Mark Stwerker, who is the current title defendant here in this competition. but Stwerker can defend on the inside of the track for now. In front of the Brit, Peter Jones. But again, with the next attack on like the next long part of the oval track here in Daytona, the tri-oval, Peter Jones will get a next opportunity to attack and to overtake. Max Stwerker makes the inside tight and basically impossible to drive next to him. Jones has to go on the outside line, but can't make a move stick. Max Stwerker defends on the inside line and keeps the first position. Peter Jones now in the next corner. Again, he has to try it on the outside. Max Stwerker is trying to keep the inside line and Peter Jones is going off the track. Can he keep the second position? Yes, he can, but now he has to fend against Darius Laurinavicius. Did he already tried too much in the early parts of this race for the win? He definitely lost 3 seconds there. But he can now already drive a little bit away from Darius Laurinavicius out of the slipstream, and there's also Christian Alvarez, who's directly behind Darius Laurinavicius and is going to try an overtake apparently. While Peter Jones will now try to get back to Max Stwerker to maybe attack for the win again. And they are definitely getting closer to Max Stwerker. It might be because of the big tri-oval parts here in Daytona that they have slipstream that Max Stwerker doesn't have. Kevin Gunn is very far behind. Did something happen to him? He was in the pits. But why was he in the pits? That's a big question. Let's try to find out. Just pitted, but I can't really see a reason why he went to the pits. Maybe it's part of the start situation in general at the start of the race. Or Darius Laurinavicius brakes really late there and brakes himself closer to Peter Jones. For 2012 Motorsport. $50 more minutes to go in this race. At the moment, Max Stwerker has basically everything under control. The TCC champion of the IVRC. And Peter Jones, he is in a fight still with Darius Laurinavicius, who misses the exit there a little bit. And is himself, it's not Darius Laurinavicius, Dovidas Laurinavicius obviously. And he himself is in a battle with Christian Alvarez. And Alvarez might now try to attack into the first corner. Oh, Peter Jones, the tire stands long and Laurinavicius goes wide and Christian Alvarez overtakes him. He put the pressure on Laurinavicius and he overtakes him. Can Dovidas tries to stick it to the inside but can't. Good defending we see here for a podium position place between Christian Alvarez and Dovydas Laurinavicius. And behind them there we see it's Saulius Laurinavicius and Walter Pried. Manuel Centino got disqualified from the race control. Let's take a look why he got disqualified. Doesn't have any lights on and then drives against the wall a bunch of times. And then just gets disqualified apparently. Stwerker still leading the race in front of Peter Jones, and then Christian Alvarez in front of Dovydas Laurinavicius in the fight for the third position in this race. We are now in lap 5 of this race. Can see Peter Jones again, the tires standing for a long time in the braking zone there. And Vasquez is DNF'd. Francisco Vasquez, what did happen there? What did he do? Just goes wide there, hits the pollers, and does he decide to give up? Or does he like have a proper crash afterwards? Goes way too far on the inside here. Oh, and has a nasty crash here. Hits the corner way too hard on the inside and completely loses the car and goes into the wall. Christian Alvarez now seems to get himself some air behind him against Dovydas Laurinavicius. And it also looks like he can make up some time on Peter Jones, but maybe that's just my imagination. And here we have another battle between Walter Pried and Saulius Laurinavicius for the 5th position in this race. The attack comes now from Saulius Laurinavicius, but that's a very wide line. And oh, Walter Pried with he spins into the wall, and Saulius Laurinavicius takes advantage of that. We're now halfway through this race. In the lead, Marc Stwerker, followed by Peter Jones. Then we have Christian Alvarez on 3, followed by Dovydas Laurinavicius, then Saulius Laurinavicius. 6 is Walter Pried, 7 is Redvan Marti, 8 Kenneth Ragland, 9 is Tobias Kress, directly followed by Charlotte Manning. Then on position 11, Laszlo Teglas. Position 12, Thomas Raschke. Then on 13 we have Nahuel Fulgenci. 14, Sven Arne Andersen. 15th, Callum Gunn. And then 16th, Francisco Vasquez, who already retired. And at the back, Manuel Centino, who got disqualified. Stwerker so far, very flawless race. Got pole position. Had a good start and has no problems. Then Peter Jones, like I said, on 2. And then this battle is heating up again between Christian Alvarez and Dovydas Laurinavicius. With little less than 9 minutes to go. Christian Alvarez tries to close the door on the inside line. He's trying to force Dovidas onto the outside line, obviously. Very good strategy if you're defending. And into this first corner. That is so tricky because it kind of folds to the outside. Ooh, wow, that's very close racing between these two, between Christian Alvarez and Dovidas Laurinavicius, but also very fair and very good racing. Can now the attack come from Dovidas Laurinavicius? On the outside line. But Christian Alvarez defends. Dovidas goes very far through the grass on the inside line. But it appears he has lost a lot of time, not a lot of time, but a bit of time due to that. Next attempt for an overtake. Into the first corner now. Dovidas searches for the outside line. Maybe now he tries to push Christian Alvarez into the mistake. Goes a bit wide, but not wide enough for Dovidas to take any advantage of. Very good, very clean racing between these two for position 3. Now maybe the chance for Dovidas Laurinavicius for an attack. Christian Alvarez didn't look too good coming out of that corner. A little bit of touching, but rubbing is racing, I would say. Christian Alvarez goes a bit wide. Can Dovidas take advantage of that? I don't think so, but now he's in the slipstream of Christian Alvarez through the bank corner here in the tri-oval of Daytona Beach. And Lamati is out of the race. What happened there? He was in a very good point scoring position. He was within the top 10. And just loses it into the first corner and the car doesn't stop sliding and he's in the wall. Last 5 minutes have started. Mark Stwerka still leading the race in front of Peter Jones. Then third Christian Alvarez, followed by Dovidas Laurinavicius. On position 5, Saulius Laurinavicius against Walter Priel. They are battling for position 5. 7th, Kenneth Ragland, fairly lonely here. 8th, Charlotte Menning, also not really in a battle. 9th, Tobias Kress. 10th, Laszlo Teglas. 11th, Thomas Raschke. 12th, Nahuel Fulgenci. 13th, Sven Arne Andersen. And 14th, Callum Gunn. Everyone else is either out of the race or disqualified. And let's go back to this battle for the third position between Christian Alvarez and Mark Stwerka. Christian Alvarez and Dovidas Laurinavicius, not Mark Stwerka. Because those two are now fighting for a podium position. Oh, now the attack from La. Oh, and they touch and Dovidas spins, where's Saulius? And they're very far behind. I think Dovidas can take up pace again, but there they come, Saulius, Laurinavicius and Walter Pried. I think that now concludes the battle for the third position, but we have enough battles here in the IVRC TCC Championship that we get as a replacement on screen a battle for the fifth position between Saulius Laurinavicius and Walter Pried, who tries to attempt an overtake on the outside, but Saulius can take the inside line. Walter Pried continues to try to attack him. He really wants to overtake. It's just 2.5 minutes left in this race. We are going into the next lap, into the first corner. Walter Pried looks again for the outside line into the first corner. Does he hope Saulius does a mistake? And he does a mistake, goes wide, and Walter Pried goes through on the inside line. Very good overtake from him for the fifth position in this race. Very good racing we get here, and Saulius now with the overtake and very late braking. And the switchback maneuver from Walter Pried. Great racing between these two for the fifth position in this race. Now Saulius again tries to look for the outside line if there's like any space to overtake. Can Saulius does have another go for position 5 against Walter Pried? The time is definitely running out for him. 30 seconds left in this race, and I think it's 30 seconds, and then when Mark Stwerker goes over the line the next time. As soon as the clock has run down to 0, we will go to Mark Stwerker, who is about to win the first race of this TCC Championship. Now we go up to first position. Mark Stwerker is now leading 5.5 seconds. He just managed his lead against Peter Jones the entire race and is about to win the first race, but he still has to do a couple of corners here on the infield to keep the lead. To keep the lead and the race win for the German, for the current title defendant, for the winner of the TCC 2020 Championship. Not the last corner, but he's now going to the outfield. Only the, I think, bus stop chicane is it to go, and then full speed for the last couple of corners. Well, for the last banked corner essentially, which is basically can be seen as a straight on this circuit. Here it is, the last real corner he has to go. He takes it very cleanly. He doesn't have to risk anything. He is far enough in front of Peter Jones. And Mark Stwerker wins the first race of the 2021 TCC IVRC Championship. Not yet, he's not over the line yet, but there's the pit entry and there is the finish line. He wins the race. Peter Jones gets second position, might have risked too far in the second lap. Christian Alvarez, after a very good battle against Dovidas Laurinavicius, get third position, finish up the podium. On 4th, Dovydas Laurinavicius. 5th position goes to Walter Priet, who has now got a decent advantage in front of Saulius Laurinavicius. I think there might have been a mistake by him. Saulius Laurinavicius gets the 6th position. Kenneth Ragland 7th. Charlotte Manning gets the 8th position. Thomas Raschke is still fighting with Tobias Kress for 9 and 10, but they finish in those positions. Noel Fulgenci will come into the finish on 11th position. Sven Arne Andersen, 12th. Oh, and Laszlo Teglas is slowly, and it appears he doesn't have any fuel anymore. Laszlo Teglas rolled out without any fuel. Where is Callum? Callum Gunn will finish the race in front of him, I think. There goes Callum Gunn past him, and a couple of meters before the finish, Callum Gunn snatches a fairly unimportant 13th position, but he gets the 13th position. And yeah, Laszlo Teglas is... He runs out of fuel on the last lap. Did he gamble too much? But from the commentary booth, we sent our congratulations to Mark Stwerker, Peter Jones and Christian Alvarez, who are the 3 drivers on the podium of the first race. The second race will start shortly, and the starting grid for that race will be Callum Gunn in front of Sven Arne Andersen, then Noel Fulgenci, Tobias Kress, Thomas Raschke, Charlotte Manning, Kenneth Ragland, Saulius Laurinavicius, Walter Priet, Dovydas Laurinavicius, Christian Alvarez, Peter Jones, Mark Stwerker, and then I expect Laszlo Teglas, Redvan Lemati, Francisco Vasquez, and then on the last position, Manuel Centino. We will see each other when that happens again. Yeah. I welcome you guys back for the second race of the TCC. I'm going to quickly go through the starting grid. First, Callum Gunn. Second, Sven Arne Andersen. Third, Nahuel Fulgenci. Fourth, Tobias Kress. Fifth, Thomas Raschke. Sixth, Charlotte Menning. Seventh, Kenneth Rockland. Eighth, Saulius Laurinavicius. Ninth, Walter Priet. 10th, Dovidas Laurinavicius. 11th, Christian Alvarez. 12th, Peter Jones. 13th, Mark Stwerker, who won the first race. 14th, Laszlo Taylor, who basically ran out of fuel like 200 meters before the finish line. 15th, Francisco Vasquez. 16th, Manuel Centino. I think someone is missing, I just don't know who. Anyway, the race about to start. Callum Gunn on pole position.
Green flag, green flag.
And gets a good start, but also Tobias Kress with a very good start. Now already second. Disqualified Sven Arne Andersen for some reason. Tobias Kress already sends it into turn 1. But Callum Gunn can keep it for now in the first position. A lot of things happening in the background. And Thomas Raschke, who tries to go through on the inside. But Callum Gunn defends the first position for now, for the first couple of corners through the infield. Now goes a little bit far, is a bit on the grass there. Now goes wide and loses 2, 3. Another one goes wide, still on the grass. Loses 5 positions, is now on 6th. Thomas Raschke now leading the race. Second, Christian Alvarez with a very good start. He already got through the field very quickly. Second, in front of Walter Priet, who gets now attacked by Walter Priet. But he can defend on the inside. Mark Stwerker also already on the 7th position. In the background they almost go 3 wide there, but we continue to look at this battle for the second position between Christian Alvarez and Walter Priet. Oh, 3 wide in the background, 5 people battling for position. Tobias Kress goes wide, and I think, who was it? Who spun in the background? There's another spin. Callum Gunn and Nahuel Fulgenci. And Callum Gunn put the car back, and then a spun by Christian Alvarez. Everything is going down now. Thomas Raschke still leading, then Walter Priet, and then Mark Stwerker. Peter Jones in position 4. And someone sends it and hits Peter Jones! Who hits the wall? I think that's it for Peter Jones. Who was that? Who drove in there like an absolute maniac? Let's take a take a look at it again. Here, there it goes down for the first time, and then it goes past them on the inside, makes up a lot of positions, and oh, it's Kenneth Rockland who completely misses the braking point and sends Peter Jones into the wall. Thomas Raschke leading in front of Walter Priet, who's now followed by Mark Stwerker. The winner of the first race. Can he make it 2 race wins? A very chaotic start here. and he's already in the hunt for second position. It doesn't look that good for the others who were in the podium. Peter Jones only in 10th and Christian Alvarez in 12th position. Both have been in accidents. And Walter Preet loses the back there a little bit. Mark Stwerker now directly behind him. Attack for Mark Stwerker on the inside. Walter Preet can defend that second position. And now the attack from Stwerker again on the inside. He goes in front and he makes the move stick. He's now 2 seconds down from Tobias Raschke. But first has to defend obviously the second position from Walter Preet again. It looks like both of them can make up time on Thomas Raschke, not Tobias Raschke, how I said multiple times, I think. Can Walter Preet attack Mark Stwerker again? Maybe into the first corner. Stwerker, who appears to be very good at defending his position, keeps that position now. And they're also edging closer to Thomas Raschke. So it looks like we might get a three-way battle for the win in this second race. Stwerker at the moment mainly defending his second position against Walter Preet, who is hesitant to attack, but he's in the slipstream. He's directly behind him, and they are now within a second of Thomas Raschke. The white and pink and purple car with the number 78. While we finish another lap. Stwerker with the new fastest lap right now. And I think Raschke goes wide there. And now it's a close battle for the win between these three. And Stwerker makes the move stick on the inside and takes the lead of this race against Thomas Raschke. Can Walter Preet do the same immediately afterwards? Oh, but Raschke makes the move stick, goes wide. Stwerker with the switchback and keeps the lead. Raschke seems to know that he doesn't have the pace exactly to keep up with him. So he needs to get back in front of him. To defend, to try to defend. Within a tenth of a second. Can Stwerke do the double, winning both races, one from the pole position, one from starting position 13. Reschke now looks on the outside line in an attempt to attack. This is now difficult because Walter Preed also knows he might have a shot for the win. He needs to overtake for that, and he needs to do 2 overtakes for that. One on Raschke and one on Stwerka. And now I think Preed is going for the first overtake. And they touch and they go wide, and Preed doesn't spin, but he can't overtake Raschke. Stwerka keeps the lead, and now he's quite comfortable in the lead. Preed, I think, and now he touches him and overtakes him. That was a bit dirty almost. This will have some conversations afterwards in the paddock between these two. The question is, because there will be multiple breaking points where Raschke will be behind Preed. Will he do it the same? Will he try to maybe like touch him a little bit to make him go wide and then stick it on the inside? And he makes it now stick on the outside, going into the next hard braking point in the bus stop. Preed tries to not give him a millimeter. Goes now goes with 4 over the white line, I think. Walter Preed on the inside, Raschke on the outside, battle for the second position. Now they are driving towards the first corner, the corner where they just touched in a lap prior to this. Preed goes wide, sends Raschke wide. Raschke tries to keep the line, but he has to go behind Preed. He can't make the move stick. It's very difficult to overtake outside there. Let's go through the top 10, through the field quickly. Marc Stwerke first, Walter Preed second, Thomas Raschke third, Dovydas Laurinavicius on fourth, Charlotte Manning fifth, followed by Laszlo Teglas, 7th Saulius Laurinavicius, 8th Peter Jones, 9th Kenneth Ragland, 10th Francisco Vasquez, 11th Christian Alvarez, 12th Nahuel Fulgenci, 13th Manuel Centino, Tobias Kress out of the race after a very good start, and 15th Callum Gunn. Sven Arne Anderson was disqualified. Let's go back to the race, and especially to this battle for the second position here. We will again, shortly before Stwerke will, as I'm assuming he's about to win the race, if he doesn't make a mistake, we will go back to him. But at the moment, this is the battle for a very crucial position for the second place. Preed against Raschke. Preed. Oh, and again, he drifts a little bit through that corner. I don't know if there will definitely discussions about track limits after this race, because I feel like Preed is driving very aggressively through the inside of that corner, not giving a millimeter. But Raschke at the same time is fighting for this second position. This is a proper fight. They're not just driving behind each other, waiting for someone to a mistake. Raschke tries to overtake him, but Preed does it very cleverly trying to keep the inside line closed, giving Yaroshka no chance to overtake there. Having or making him have to go through the wider line on the outside, and it's very difficult, especially on like a tight infield like we have here in Daytona, to overtake on the inside or on the tight chicanes in the outfield, or the chicane on the outfield. There's only one really. And now Rushke touches Preetz a little bit, but it looked like Rushke was losing the car more due to it. Again, we are again on the outfield, on the tri-oval part of this track. Bus stop. Preet can keep the lead while Mark Stwerka is driving a very experienced race. Let's quickly go through the positions again. Stwerka on first, Walter Preet second, Thomas Rushke third, fourth Dovydas Laurinavicius, fifth Charlotte Manning, sixth Laszlo Taylor, seventh Saulius Laurinavicius, eighth Peter Jones, ninth Kenneth Ragland in a battle with Christian Alvarez. Let's stay here a little bit. They touch. Can Alvarez make the move stick? No, not for now. Fastest lap by Mark Stwerka, by the way. On 11th is Francisco Vasquez, 12th Nahuel Fulgenci, and 13th Manuel Centino. Let's go back to these two for the last 4 minutes of this race. Walter Preet against Thomas Rushke for the second place. The Alfa Romeo of Walter Preet for Wildcat against the Ardmore car from Thomas Rushke. No. I would say the first corner, probably the best corner to attack, but only if you can get the inside. That's generally something about this track. You can only really overtake on the inside, but Rushke is now on the outside again. But he can't stay next to him without the slipstream, it seems. Through the bus stop. Rushke takes a very wide line, completely goes over the grass. That will have cost him a lot of time. Stwerka again with a fastest lap. He's flying right now without any traffic. Well, Preet seems to now be able to get a little gap in front of Rushke for the last 2 minutes. Rushke essentially now needs perfect laps and an overtake. Preet, that looked a little bit like he was drifting through that. And it seems like Walter Preet can keep the second position in this race. in the night of Daytona. Oh, and that's now very, very far on the inside by Thomas Raschke. Let's take a look at Charlotte Manning against Laszlo Teglas for 5th position. Again, we have a fight for the 5th position in this race with the 2012 Motorsport car and the Tevis Sim Racing car. Mark Stwerker, another fastest lap. He will finish this race now. He is already in his last lap. And let's move to Mark Stwerker for the last lap. A very, very good second race from him, starting in 13th position, having made the overtake for the first position against Thomas Raschke back then it was, when Raschke was still in first. And from that point he basically flew. He had no one really close to him. Raschke tried to make a couple of moves stick, but in the end a collision between Raschke and Preet into turn 1 basically gave him enough room to start to extend his lead, and he put in multiple fastest lap to get the win. He's only one braking point away from winning this by driving through the bus stop, and then he will have won this race, and he will start his title defending campaign by back-to-back wins here in Daytona Beach. Very important, especially that win in the second race, starting from basically behind on P13. He goes very, very far inside there. I doubt it will cause any conversation about the legality of his win. And he now should go over the line, winning this race any second now. One more banked corner. In the middle of the banked corner, there's the pit entry, is the finish line, and he wins the race. Walter Preet will probably get the second position after a big battle with Thomas Raschke for it. Thomas Raschke third, Dovydas Laurinavicius in fourth. Again, I think a top 5 position for him. Fifth will be Laszlo Teglas, as Charlotte Manning seems to have fallen down a couple of positions. 6th, Saulius Laurinavicius. 7th, Peter Jones with a comeback drive. 8th, Charlotte Manning. 9th, Christian Alvarez, who now crosses the line. 10th, Kenneth Rapland. 11th, Francisco Vasquez. 12th, Nahuel Fulgenci, who's a bit behind Vasquez. So we see his car in the Tevis Sim Racing car for a little bit longer here. They're very bright red, now goes over the line. Manuel Centino, who was disqualified in the first race, will finish in 13th and finish the drivers who crossed the line. He's last from those still driving. But this time he finishes in 13th position. 14th did not finish Tobias Kress, and 15th Callum Gunn, and 17th, technically 16th, is Sven Arne Andersen, who got disqualified at the start immediately. But our congratulations go out to the winner of both races, Mark Stwerker. Very good drive from him, especially in the second race where he had to fight through the positions. Walter Preet, also big congratulations here in the second race for winning. And third, Thomas Raschke, who led a decent amount of this race, but in the end had to give himself, get defeated by Tobias Stwerker, who drove a brilliant race, and Walter Preet, whose maneuver was a little bit dirty, I would say. But you know, I'm not the racing stewards. I'm not deciding over these things. I just thought it was like very, very hard from him. Yeah, great race. Thanks for watching this. wherever you are, if you're watching this live or like on real life, basically watching this race again. My name was Philip Blom. It was a very enjoyable part to commentate these two races. Enjoyed it a lot, and yeah, we see each other at the next race in Venezuela, in Toragua, in 2 weeks' time. 13th of March is the second race of the season. And we will have to see if Mark Stwerker can extend his championship lead again after this very, very good race performance. Wins both races by roughly 5 seconds. Yeah.
User joined your channel.
And now we have the winner of both races, Mark Stwerker, in here for a quick interview. Mark, very good performance in the first race, but the race win never really seemed in danger, especially after some situations and after Peter Jones overbroke or missed the braking zone in the second lap. But your race performance in the second race, from starting from the 13th position, was very remarkable, and just going through the field and in the end winning it with a very good maneuver on Thomas Raschke. How do you look back at those two performances?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me. First race went quite as planned. Start was really good. I was able to defend myself in the early beginning of race 1. When Peter made the mistake, I was still thinking. I was guessing he could have been faster, even after his mistake, and I wasn't so sure if it would be that easy to bring the win home. But it worked out pretty well in the end. Pace was there till the last 3 or 4 laps when I dropped off and just made it secure. Race 2 was a little bit, not a little bit, but way different in the end. Start was really good as well again. At least the reaction time, car was going really good for the first few meters. Then some other car came across the road and I had to back up. So first corner was lots of mayhem, had to back up as well, and couldn't quite manage to get that far into the front. But then there was quite a few stressy situations afterwards where some other drivers miscalculated their braking points and hit others. And in the end it was just really, really big luck to get through that without getting hit too hard. Had a little bit of argy-bargy with my teammate from my B team, Francisco Vasquez, who did a really, really good job in race 2 as well. And I managed to get further in front. The fight with Walter Preet, I expected it to be a little bit harder, to be honest, because he seemed a bit faster in race 1 than in race 2. And Thomas did a great job by trying to defend his first position, and unfortunately got taken out by Walter in a little collision in turn 1. And from then on it was simply the same thing as in race 1, just bring it home and take the win. And now I'm sitting here having some comfortable position in the championship already. Guess it's maintaining it from now on.
Yeah, definitely. Any other words you want to say? Because especially in the first race, it really looked like you were managing the race. You were obviously, Peter Jones did that mistake and then was in the battle for the second position for a long time, and then later it didn't seem like he was able to make up the ground in the end of the race. And who do you think will be the biggest challenge after today in the championship? Because obviously you now have already a fairly big lead with both race wins, one from P13. Who do you think will be your biggest challenge?
Yeah, well, the biggest challenge will, I think, of course, be Peter Jones, as he is, in my opinion, quicker than me, but he just has to manage his consistency to be able to, yeah, consistently get the race wins, or yeah, keep the races without any mistakes. And I guess it's still a learning process for him. He's like, I'm not really sure. I guess he's driving for only about 2 years now, which isn't that much. And he will definitely be one of the biggest rivals. The other guy who really, really impressed me today was Walter Preet, who really showed us that he's capable of getting into really, really good positions, and has a really good mentality, I guess. In the fights, he was really clean. Unfortunately, had that little trouble with Thomas Rushke, but with me, he was really clean, and I guess he could, if he's able to participate in every event, he will definitely be one of the guys to watch, I guess.
Okay, then thank you for giving me your time for this interview, and I guess we see you in 2 weeks' time in Venezuela.
Oh, definitely. Thanks for having me.
No
Goodbye.
problem.
User left your channel.
Yeah, Thomas Rushke wanted to come for an interview, but it seems like he left again. Which is a very interesting strategy, asking for an interview and then leaving again. If he doesn't show up again, I'm saying until in 2 weeks. I hope you guys have a great time until then. And yeah, goodbye, I guess. Looking if I can contact him in any way, but he, for some reason, has completely left the Discord, the TeamSpeak server. Very interesting strategy. After asking for an interview. Yeah, I guess he won't come back. Then yeah, goodbye. I hope you had fun, and till the next time in 2 weeks in Venezuela.